Okay. I think we are live on Facebook. I'm going to just make sure, and we'll give people a minute to get on here, and I'm going to get Instagram going as well. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah. Oh, there's the volume. I'm going to turn that off. All right. We are live on Facebook.
Perfect.
And I'm going to get Instagram on here. Make sure we'll give people a minute to get on. Oh, hold on. There we go. That volume's off.
Yeah, you could hear the feedback.
Yeah. Okay, we're live on Facebook. We're live on Instagram. It's notifying people right now. We'll get more people on, and then we'll get started with Coach Noble here. Okay. And then let me make sure I have this other screen document up so I can share that. There we go. Okay, and we have some people starting to join us now, which is great. Guys, let us know. We're going to get started with Coach Noble in a minute here on goaltending skills. Happy to have you guys join us. Let us know if you have questions in the comments. I'll be moderating the questions, and I'll bring them up with Coach Noble as we're able to. Oh, I'm going to start the recording here too. Okay, and let us know if you want to even come on Instagram Live with us and ask a question. But then let's think we're all set. So let's get started. Some of the folks are going to be watching this on the replay. So if you're watching this on the replay, you feel free to put your questions or comments in to the comment section as well, and we can make sure we get an answer back to you. And then we email this out after as well. If you find this valuable, we have Arinda Fanning on now too. Ed's on as well. So we get some people joining us. Let us know your questions for Coach Noble. And then if you find this valuable, we always appreciate you sharing it with where this is open to anyone that can get some value from it as well. So let's dig into it. So first, Coach Noble is our head goaltending coach for the Junior A organization. He's been with us a little over a year now, and he works with all of our goaltenders from the 8U players starting out right up to the 18 AAA players. Noble has a great playing experience, but also is very passionate about the position and studies the position a lot. And I'm really excited to have him on today because he's going to talk about some of that detail a little bit with what he does with work with the goaltending, and maybe give us some practical tips and things as well for goalies, whether you're playing in a junior reign or not. Noble also works with a lot of goalies privately, does a small group or private lessons, and we can share some information about that at the end as well. So first, Noble, thanks for making the time and joining us today.
Yep, no problem. I'm happy to be on here.
Great. And why don't you give us a little bit of a background first, maybe about some of your experience playing, and then why you started coaching and kind of your philosophy on that side of things too.
Yeah, so I grew up playing in Southern California and played all levels all the way up until 18 AAA. That was for the Gulls at the time, and I ended up playing juniors in the Western States League out here, and then my last year I went to Helena and then NORPAC, and after that I committed to Division III NCAA school in Boston, and it wasn't really the right fit. It was kind of a small school, and I wasn't really enjoying the academics. So I transferred to the University of Delaware, which is a Division I ACHA, so a D1 club. But we were a top 10 program every single year I was there, and we had a lot of high-level kids that all played juniors or prep school. So we had a pretty solid team, and I played there for 3 years and ended up majoring in sport management. And then after that, I had a buddy who was also a former goalie who was the head coach of Newman University, which is one of the powerhouse Division III NCAA schools in the country. And he asked me if I wanted to come on board goalie coaching. So I was goalie coaching for them, the Little Flyers, and then also for 2 youth clubs in the area. And then I moved back out to California, And that's when I reached out to you about the possibility of coaching and working with the club, and been here since. So
awesome. That's great. And that's great because we actually did a live yesterday with Paul on the various college hockey options and things. And so it's cool to see a kid from California come up and play all the way through the highest levels of AAA and junior in California, and then go through that path of we were talking about Division III and Division I club, and how some of these levels are some really good hockey that a lot of people maybe not even quite aware of those opportunities and experience. And you end up in Boston and Delaware and then back. So that's a cool journey. And it's great that you're able to share that with the kids in California that are kind of aspiring to, a lot of those kids, their goals is college hockey. And so it's great to work with a coach who's kind of been through that path, and even a part of it that didn't maybe work as well for you, and being able to share that experience, I think, with the kids is great too.
yeah, like there's some good, D1 ACHA programs, and like there's some very good D3 NCAA programs that compete. Like for D3, there's Division III schools that compete with Division I NCAA schools. Like Newman, that's a good school for some of the kids that are really looking to play at a high level. And Delaware, I think UNLV now has a program, and ASU was a former D1 ACHA program, and they made the jump to Division I NCAA. So there's good hockey out there.
Right. Any specific advice for goaltenders? I know there's a little bit different because it's a little more challenging to make sure you're going to the right place, because there's only a couple spots, maybe 3 spots, I guess, at college for goaltending. Anything that when you're thinking about kind of the future paths for goaltenders specifically to think about?
Yeah, I think like go where you feel you have the best ability to play. So you don't want to go into a program just because they're, a top 10 program. You want to go somewhere where you're going to have the opportunity to play and show your skills and succeed, because, as a goalie, like you can build your team from the net out, and if you're a good goalie, you can steal games for a team, and you go in, show your worth, and guys will play hard for you as long as you play hard for them in net. So just go to the team that gives you the best opportunity, in my opinion.
Yeah, awesome. It's not necessarily that fun to go away to college and be number 3 sitting in the stands and not even have a chance to show yourself. Exactly. Right? You think it's a great team. Great. Okay, so let's get into discussion, some more specifics into the goaltending skills and some of your philosophy and what you're teaching. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with the stance first, because that's probably the most basic thing. Okay. So, basically, with a goaltender stance, we want to make sure you have proper knee bend and you're in an athletic position. Just like with skating, you want to have good knee bend, you want to have that butt low, and you want to have your chest up. As a goalie, we want to have our stick on the ice covering our 5-hole, and then you want to have your hands projected forward. You don't want to have your hands overlapped with your pads or your body, because then you'd have double coverage, and you want to expand and cover as much net as possible as a goalie. So if your hands are covering your body, you're making yourself smaller. So you want to have your hands projected forward, no overlap with the pads or body, and that way you're as big as possible in the net. So that's our basic stance, and that's where you want to be whenever you're skating and moving, and everything kind of branches out from there.
Okay, great. I'm typing in some of the keys here so that the goalies can take those notes, follow along. So starting with the stance, stick on the ice covering the 5-hole, hands projected forward, and not overlap with your body, so you can be as big as possible in the net, and keeping that stance really everywhere you move, right?
Exactly. Like any type of movement, which we'll talk about next, you should be in your stance in that position. So you're going to be holding that at all times. You never want to be like bobbling up and down, because if you're moving up and down, then you're not going to be set for a shot, and you're going to have a hard time watching the puck, because you'll be at a rock concert with your head going up and down.
Okay, great. Okay, what's next?
So next, I just want to talk about movement. So I heard Coach Darren's interview the other day, and he was talking about on the skating treadmill with C cuts, forwards and backwards. And that's super important as a goalie, to be able to, C cuts, snap forward, snap backwards, explosively and quick. on top of that, there's an old saying that the goalie needs to be one of the best skaters on the team, because as a goalie, you need to be able to skate and do everything that a player can do, but then you have to be able to do goalie specific movements as well. So some goalie specific movements that we'll talk about, shuffles, T-pushes, proper recoveries, and power pushes. So for a shuffle, once again, we're in our stance, all the things we talked about previously. You want to have both your toes pointing forward, and you're going to be moving lateral with a shuffle. So both toes are pointed forward and you're moving laterally. And these are generally used for small movements. Like when a player's walking down the wall or a player's coming in to the zone, you wouldn't use a shuffle for a long movement because you're just trying to change the angle slightly and trying to keep the center of your body on the puck.
Great. Okay. I'll go. No, sharing this. I'm actually sharing your notes down here as well, so that players can see us, and then they can see the key points here for the stance and the movement as well. And it's great to hear you talk about for the goalies about how important their skating skills are. It's not just about kind of standing in the net and how important that movement is. I think a lot of the young goalies may not realize how important that movement is to put yourself in position.
Yeah, it's more important than ever because with how fast the game is and how quickly the game moves these days, you have to be able to move to set yourself up properly for a shot. So if you can arrive in good position, then you're going to give yourself the ability to try to make the save. So if you can't arrive and set up, then making a save is going to be even more of a challenge. So skating is probably the most important part about goaltending.
Right. So C cuts, forward and backwards shuffles, T push, recoveries, and power push.
So T pushes, basically it's when you open up and you make a T. So I don't want to get too into detail, but you have your drive leg and your glide leg, and you push off your drive leg, your glide leg makes a T, and these are generally used for longer movements. So when the puck's going like D to D or cross ice, high to low, like from the post when it's going from like behind the net out to the point, something like that, where you need a little bit of a longer push, that's when you would use a T push. So those are two huge movements in goaltending. And once again, you're always going to be in your stance. You want to have that stick on the ice when you're opening up. One more or two more I want to talk about are recoveries and power pushes. Recoveries. So let's say you make a save and you control rebounds in the corner. For a recovery, you like always want to get up with your outside leg. So whichever way you're going, you want to get up with the leg that's on the outside, the opposite side leg, because due to your edges, you want to get the inside edge, and that will allow you to push to where you're going. So basically, if you get up with your inside leg, it will be more movements. So like just to break it down, you want to find the puck with your head, rotate, lift your outside leg, and then go directly into push. That's 4 movements. If you were to use your inside leg, you would rotate or head on the puck, rotate. You would get up with your inside leg, which doesn't allow you to rotate because it's going to force you back the opposite way. You'll get up, you won't be square, and then you'll have to rotate and push. So it'll be 5, 6 movements. So it'll end up slowing you down.
Do you find that to be a kind of a key mistake that a lot of young goalies make? Maybe they're getting up on their strongest leg all the time, the other side.
A lot of young goalies, they have never been taught that, so they'll get up with whichever leg's more comfortable. So if you pay attention to a lot of young goalies, like I'd say Pee Wee and under, a lot of them get up with one leg predominantly, and it develops a bad habit that's harder to change as time goes on. So you want to make sure that you're getting up with that outside leg on your recoveries. So.
Yeah. And as the game gets quicker, right, it's that going from 5 movements to 4 movements can be, if you're talking about playing at a higher level later on, especially, right, that could be a major difference, right?
Yeah, it could be, tenths of a second that once again make the difference between a goal and a save. So yeah. The last one I want to talk about is a power push. So this is when you're already down on your knees. Let's say you made a save, or let's say a shot came and the puck didn't get all the way through, but it's in close to you, like within about 5 to 10 feet, like a stick's length. This is for a readjustment where you keep one knee still on the ice. You lift your opposite side leg, you drive your inside edge to the ice, and you get a push while remaining down on your knees. So you're actually not getting up. You're just pushing while staying low on the ice. And this is for little small adjustments and tight, close to the net.
Okay, great. So maybe break down these movements again a little. So C-cuts is really for the movement forwards, like up and back in the net, right? Coming up and back in the net. Shuffles is what your side to side when you're following the play.
Small adjustments, lateral small adjustments. T-pushes are for like lateral big adjustments. Recovery are after you make a save, recovering from your knees to your feet, which is a big habit you want to try to develop. And then power pushes are when you're recovering from your knees to your knees for in tight plays.
Yeah, so like you've made it so a T push, for example, the puck's like you said at the point, and it goes across to the other point, and you're going across, you're following it across on your feet, right? And then if the guy comes down on you from one side, you drop the butterfly and make a save, and immediately the puck goes to the other side of the net. That's where a power push gets you over to the other side of the net while you're down, right? To make that.
Yeah. If it was in close, if it was in far, you would then use a recovery.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Right. So these are the kind of fundamentals. So you start your stance, and then you have the fundamentals of your movements. And if you get a good stance, and then you have all these fundamentals, you're a lot of the way there already, right?
Yeah, you're definitely on your way to becoming a good goalie if you can master all of those movements. So, how much work is it? Do you feel like? Do you think a lot of goalies, like even at the older levels, do a lot of them have all these movements down really well from both sides and both legs of their body? Is this something that takes a lot of time and effort to kind of master? I mean, if you're starting at like the 18 AAA level, we'll start at the highest level. Those goalies have this stuff down to a T. Those are some good goalies to watch for any of the younger goalies in the club. If you ever get the chance to watch both 18 AAA goalies in a practice or in a game, just watch how dialed in they are. Look how good they are at all these movements, and watch how they compete on pucks. Those kids never give up, and they're always battling. Sometimes they'll make 2, 3, 4 saves in a row, and there's good shooters out there. It's not easy to make those saves. So,
yeah.
But to answer your question, like it varies. There's kids that have the right habits and kids that don't. And some kids have learned other techniques that may work for them. And there's not a one size fits all for goaltending. Like at the end of the day, stop the puck. But every goalie needs to master these movements. And to be successful, you have to be able to do these movements.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, do you want to go into rebound control?
Yeah, so it's important for goalies to have good rebound control. They want to use all of their pads, their leg pads, their stick, blocker glove, their chest pad, everything they have at their disposal to make saves. You want to control the game. So I have that at the bottom, but if you can control the game by having good rebounds, you can eliminate a lot of second and third chance opportunities. So let's just say you gave up a rebound on every shot you got, and you had 20 shots in the game. So now you could end up having 40 shots because you gave up 20 rebounds. If you were to give up good rebounds, putting them to the corners into a dead zone, or cradling the puck into your stomach, or making a glove save, you're eliminating those second chance opportunities. And that is the difference between controlling the game and not. You're helping your team out. You're putting the puck in a safe area where your team has the chance to get back, get good defensive coverage, set up in the zone, and then everyone, man-to-man or however your defense plays. And it'll make your job a lot easier, make your team's job a lot easier. But that all starts with rebounds. And, this goes back to practices. And every time you're on the ice, you should be practicing good rebound control. You want to make sure you're trying to put pucks to the corners. and you should be tracking them to the corner. So right after you make a save, make sure you track the puck all the way to the corner. And then, you might not always have time to follow the puck in practices, but you want to still try to watch it as long as you can, and then get up and get ready for your next shot. And an individual lesson with me, I will always make my goalies follow their rebounds every single time. I want it to be a habit to always follow your rebound, because that way you set up for the next shot. Because in practice, the player might curl off and the plays over, but in a game, it's still alive. So you want to get in that habit of always following your rebounds and having good rebound control.
Another good reason for coaches in practice to make practice drills as game-like as possible too, right? Even for the goalies, where the puck's not dead after one shot and things, right? Where it becomes game-like, that would help the goalies too, it sounds like.
Yeah, I always hear the coaches out here telling the kids, play that second puck, play the rebound. And some kids will curl off on the puck, but it'll really help not only the forwards and the defense, but also the goalies if you play that second or third shot, because then the goalie has to make that second effort. He has to compete on the puck, learn to get set, learn to utilize his skating to get there. And also for the kids, it teaches them to play the puck out and play it out until it's either covered or it's in the net. So
yeah, and they know if the guy can play his rebound, that they're going to want to try to control that rebound better, so they don't get
exactly
rebound, right? Yeah. You see those old school drills where like just 15 guys in a row come down and just shoot, like it doesn't, and then curl off. That's probably, people think that is a warm up for the goalie, but it may not be that valuable even for the goaltender.
Yeah, especially if it's like rapid fire, because as a goalie, you want to have the chance to track the puck all the way in and get your eyes and body warm. So
okay, great. Okay, anything else on rebound control?
One other thing to add is, as a goalie, it's okay to play the puck out of play. So if you are making a save off your stick or off your blocker, and instead of it going into the corner, if you put it up into the net, that's fine as a goalie. You'll end up getting a whistle in zone. It's a 50-50 puck off that faceoff. So, now both teams have the chance to set up for the faceoff. You can get fresh legs if your team's tired out there. So, controlling a puck and like eating it up in your body and getting a whistle, putting pucks to the corners, but also putting them out of play is they're all options for controlling the game. So, yeah.
Right. Is this one of the harder skills? To develop? Because I'm thinking like first you have your stance and then you getting in front of it, but then actually not only making the save, but directing the puck too. Is that one of the more kind of advanced skills?
Yeah, you have to work on it a lot with tracking, and then save selections, and having pucks placed in the same area over and over, so that you can learn how to properly do it. And then you have to remove that coach putting the puck in the same area, and then you have to react when you don't know where the puck's going. So, a guy's coming down, he has the option to shoot high, low, blocker side, glove side, and you have to react quick enough to be able to place that rebound into the corner properly, or eat it up properly. So, yeah, it is a good, tough skill to develop, and you got to spend a lot of time to do it.
Okay, great. All right, where do you want to go next?
We can talk about box control. So they have access to this photo, right?
Yep, they should be able to see it. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so if you guys see this photo that I borrowed from Stop It Goaltending, you can see that there's basically two leashes going to the top corners of the net. So with goaltending, it's all about angles, and basically there's four corners to the net: high glove, high blocker, and there's low glove and low blocker. So if you were to draw a box, which you can see kind of in the front where the coach is holding his stick, that would be the crossbar where he's holding his stick. The box is smaller as you get out and challenge. So as a goalie, a lot of people think that goalies need to be, 2-3 feet out of their crease to challenge to make saves. They don't. It depends where the puck is at, and if you have your heels on the top of the blue paint, you're usually in a pretty good position to give yourself access to make saves. And as you can see, this goalie in net, he's a pretty good sized goalie. So, he covers a lot of net, but you could see he has his hands projected forward and his hands are basically covering right to where the puck would have to pass to go to the top corner of the net. If you follow that leash all the way up to the top corner right there, you can see like his hands, all he has to do is make a slight little movement to make a save. And that's the crossbar right there. So you don't always have to be super aggressive as a goalie. Sometimes you just want to project your hands forward or shift into saves versus just being overly aggressive. And for box control as well, like this box is always changing. So, if you were to change this angle where the shooter is coming from to a different area, that box is going to change. As players are going wide, that box is actually going to get more narrow. He's dead center on the net, and this is as wide as that box is going to be. If you were to take that puck to the goal line, which you'll see in a couple minutes here, actually, if you just scroll down, I can show it real quick.
Yeah.
That box is a lot more narrow right here. It's a lot more narrow, and the goalie is a lot bigger and covers a lot more net. So, also, like the second note I have here, you don't always have to move lateral to make a save. So this goalie right here, he's in a pretty good spot. Let's say the puck was going above his glove. That's about one of the only portions of the net that's open if they didn't have that stick there. Instead of him getting tall to make that save, he could just project his hand forward and he'll take away that net. So learning to control a box, this is like a little bit more advanced stuff for like high level bantams, midgets, 18 AAA kids. This is the type of stuff that they're working on, little small adjustments, but it's huge to understand it. And it's good for shooters to understand this stuff as well. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's interesting how some of the goaltending stuff has changed over the past few years, especially I've noticed like with this type of stance, like down low where you almost use your whole body. What's that?
It's called the RVH, RVH, reverse vertical horizon.
Yeah, it's not just a straight butterfly stance where like where you take away, you really, like you said, look at it, you take away almost like the whole mat, your head and everything. There's really no holes, not even a 5-hole or a low blocker or anything like that, depending on the angle.
No, and that's why like knowing what you're covering, it'll help increase your confidence and knowing how to properly play the game. But like I think I mentioned
Sid Costello came on. Sid knows the answer. She's calling him out. I don't know if you ever worked with Sid.
I have.
Okay, yeah. She said RVH right before you said it, so she's on it.
She's a good goalie. She knows her stuff. Yeah. So, yeah.
You got Sid's with plays. Has done some stuff with the U.S. national team and stuff. So awesome. So good to have you on, Sid. And she also agrees that she doesn't like the warm-up drill where they just get rapid fire. So she's on it too. Okay. Let's keep going. You want me to stay here or do you want me to
we could go down a little bit. So
okay.
So this is a cool little chart as far as positioning goes. So I borrowed this from Justin Goldman at the Goalie Guild, and it basically breaks down to what positions you should be in when the puck is in specific zones on the ice. And this is going to vary for goalies. For a younger goalie, they shouldn't be on their knees as quickly as an older goalie. Like that picture that we showed previously, a younger goalie, he's not going to cover as much net. So if he's dropping into that position, there's a good chance there's going to be a lot of net exposed up high. And as players get a little better, they're going to find that net. So, you have to work with your goalie coach to kind of see what's best for you. No two goalies are going to play exactly alike, but this is just a good little chart to help kind of understand what type of movements you want to be using and where. So we could start with the dark shade of blue where it says reverse VH zone, since we were just talking about that. So basically like right behind the net, it's acceptable to use that for quick and tight plays. like if a player is trying to do a wraparound or jam the puck, you can see right above the goal line, like right above the goal line, yeah, right there. That's basically where that previous picture was from. And that area of the ice, if a player's driving the net at a bad angle and you have defensive pressure angling him off, that's a good area to use that. As you go to the corner where it says stand up on the post, behind the goal line, yeah. So this area of the ice, it's called a dead zone. I always tell my goalies, like, get back to your feet. As a puck goes farther away, you have more time and space. So they have more time to react, whether it's a pass, and a player is probably not going to shoot from there. It's pretty hard to score from behind the net. The only way you could bank it off the goalie, but that's about it. So you want to get up to your feet, and that way you have the ability to move, because chances are they're going to probably move the puck around the zone. As you go a little bit higher, where it says overlap zone or skate on post. So here, you're once again on your feet. You have more time and space, and you can have your heel on the post, or you can take a slight step forward with your inside foot, and you would actually step it over the post. So it's basically you're actually covering a little portion of the outside of the net. And this gives you the ability to drop in a butterfly without the interference of the post. And it also gives you the ability to move. So you can, as a goalie, you should practice both of those, because you should be able to use both. Some goalies will feel more comfortable using one or the other, but it's something you should practice. As you go a little bit higher, so your depth here depends on backside pressure. So basically, like, what is your defense covering? So if your defense has good coverage, you can be a little bit more aggressive, because you're not worried about a pass beating you backdoor, and you can play with your heels at the top of the blue paint, or maybe even a little farther out. But let's say it's a 2-on-1, you're not going to want to be as aggressive, because now there's that backside pressure, and a quick pass across the crease can beat you. So you might want to stay just slightly deeper, so that way you have the ability to get backdoor. And then from the center, like it says, odd man rushes, toes at the top of the crease. So basically, like what I was just saying, you would stay a little bit deeper on like a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-2. Even man rushes, heels at the top of the crease. But this is the best angle on the ice. And anything in here that, like we were talking about earlier with box control, they're going to have a pretty wide net. So you're probably going to want to be top of the crease minimum for most shots in here. And this is just a good chart that can help goalies to kind of think like what they should be doing and how to focus on the game. You can, study it before practices, or if you're in a slump or something, you can take a look at it and kind of be like, oh, like I should be doing this here. And this is a good way just to kind of remind yourself of what you should be doing on the ice. So
great. I'm learning a lot that I can put into play when I play goalie in men's league sometimes. So this is it's a lot of tech. It's very tech. It's the most technical position, I imagine, with goaltending, right? It really seems like there's, because it seems like, it's the difference of having all these things dialed in is makes a huge difference. Even if you're athletic and you're big or whatever, having these pieces looks like it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it does. I mean, like, as a goalie, you think when goalies make these highlight reel saves, a lot of times they're out of position, and they're in a spot they shouldn't have been. So, a lot of goalies that are at elite levels, they make their job look very easy, and a lot of saves they make look easy because they're in good spots and they're controlled. So knowing where your proper positioning, your depth, if you're on an angle, that stuff's huge as it comes to goaltending. So one more thing I want to talk about here at the bottom, it says angles. You always want to be centered on a puck. So you want half your body covering the blocker side, half your body covering the glove side. If you cheat too far to one side, like if you're cheating too far to your glove side, player's going to shoot blocker because there's more net exposed on the blocker side. So always trying to stay centered on a puck is important, especially for young goalies.
Great. Awesome.
Yep.
Okay. So here's some other pictures of which zone. So is this RVH zone or is this?
Yeah, that's the RVH zone again. Just so you can see, like right there's some net up top. So like as a goalie, like for him, he's an NHL, he's a great goalie, but he should actually lean his head in to cover that top portion of the net. But you can see there's still net available. And if a pass was made, he would get back to his feet if it left the zone. But this is just another example of like net coverage and knowing what save selections to use and where and why you're doing it.
And so in tight, you got to be okay with putting your head in front of the puck part there.
It's okay to use your head.
Yeah, cool. Okay, and then here's what's this showing here?
So this is just a picture of a head trajectory. So this is something I actually got to learn from the pioneer of it. This guy named Lyle Mass. He invented head trajectory, and he's worked with a lot of NHL goalies like Jonathan Quick, Devin Dubnyk, Connor Hellebuck. And when he first invented it, I actually got to learn it from him directly. He came down and worked with my goalie coach, James Jensen, who's now with the Everett Silvertips in the WHL.
Yep.
And so I got to learn it. And it's probably one of the most important things with goaltending. It's basically your eyes. Your best vision is directly ahead of you. So if you were to draw like a laser beam from your eyes, your best vision is straight forward. So you don't want to be reacting to a puck with your head not tracking the puck, right? You want to watch the puck all the way into your glove or all the way into your block or all the way into your stick and pad. So your head and your eyes lead your body. If you think about golf, I'm not a big golfer, but your eyes are always on the ball, right? Like you don't just swing as hard as you can. You always have your eyes on the ball. Or when you're hitting a baseball, you watch the ball all the way in. So as a goalie, you want to watch the puck all the way in to your body. Like I said, head and eyes lead the body. You want to track down because as you get older, majority of the time, your head is above the crossbar. So for a puck to beat you, it's probably going to have to go below your head. So you're going to want to track the puck down, keeping your eyes over it. As you can see in this goalie's gaze, he basically, if you drew a straight line from his eyes to the puck, it would pretty much be a straight line. Exactly. His head is down. His head is leading his body. If you turn your head, naturally your shoulders and arms are going to follow. So if you're shifting your head, you're going to naturally give your arms and body access to make those saves. So you're going to give yourself the ability to reach farther to make a save. Like just a little exercise. If you just reach your hand out as far as you can, now shift, you can reach a lot farther, right? So having that proper trajectory, it'll give you access to make those saves. Your eyes have the answer to where the puck is going. So it's like a test where you're given the answer. You know where the puck is going if you're using your eyes. And like I said, shifting into shots. If a goalie can't see a puck, chances are they're not going to stop it. If there's a screen in front of you and you don't get good vision, then you can't track the puck in. You're not going to know where it's going. So head trajectory is crucial. And like just going over this picture again, you can see his eyes are facing down on the puck. He has his body shifted, his shoulders rotated. Everything's giving him access to get his stick over there. He has his stick making the save. So that puck's probably going to end up going off to the corner, but he has his pad backing up his stick. This is one area of the ice where we always want to have backup because a stick can break. So you always want to back up your stick with your pads. But yeah, head trajectory is crucial to goaltending and tracking pucks properly.
Awesome. We have Sid that let's see if we can bring Sid on for a question. I was wanting to experiment with this. So let's try this, Sid. We can see if we can, you might even be able to see her. I don't think Noble will be able to see her. Let's try to bring her on here. Okay. And then I have another question for Robert Berger I want to get to in a second.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get her on. There she is. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
All right. Did you have a question or comment or?
Yeah, I was just gonna add one more thing.
Yeah.
With like the whole anticipate what a play is going to happen, and watching that puck all the way.
Oh, I lost connection for a second. We may have lost her. Oh, there she is. Okay, we lost you for a second. We lost you for a second, but go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all good. So say hit your blocker, you watched it to your blocker, but you're not done, especially for like the younger kids. While you're watching the puck hit your blocker, make sure you watch it to wherever it's going to go, because that's also going to lead your body to recover to the puck, because your eyes are always going to go first. Eyes, stick, and then upper body.
Awesome.
We were talking earlier, if you tracking pucks into the corners, watching the puck away from you, exactly what Sid is saying. I agree 100%. If you watch the puck away, you're tracking that puck where it's going next. So it's automatically going to set you up for your next movement. So like, let's say you make a blocker save, like Sid's saying, goes to the corner, you track the puck into the corner. Your head is on the puck. Automatically you have sight. You know where the puck is. You know where you need to go. Your head is going to lead your body. Your head being on the puck, your shoulders end up rotating, which allows your chest to square up, give you access. Your hands follow because the natural mechanics of your body. Then your hips rotate and then swing you. You get up with your outside leg, or you recover to where the puck is. So exactly what Sid is saying, I agree 100%. Tracking pucks not only into making the save, but tracking them away.
Great. Thanks, Sid. And Alana Snyder says, hey, Sid. She's watching on Facebook. So, okay. All right. Thank you for coming on. We have another question. I don't know exactly how to take off. You can stay on with us, or you can go off the live with us. Sid, we have a question from Robert Berger, who's an assistant coach with us. His son played 16 AA last year. I know he'll be trying out for AAA this year. His son's a defenseman, but Rob has also been helped coach our teams and been a head coach for several games as well, like trying to work with the goalies throughout the game. And his question is about butterfly and staying once the goalie is down. So you talked about this a little bit in that chart, but what situations do you stay down and what situations do you get to your feet, especially when with the goalie's not as big of a goaltender to cover the net. So you talked about a little bit, right, about when you can get to your feet, I guess as soon as it's out of a danger area. Is that what you were kind of saying?
It's always best option to try to get to your feet whenever you can. So even at the higher levels, you want to try to get to your feet as quickly as possible, because your feet are going to give you the best ability to move and react to a puck. So any chance you can get to your feet, you want to try to get to your feet. But staying on your knees, using like a power push, the play would generally have to be like in tight. So, you make a save and the puck pops right back out and you're trying to readjust for a shot that's in tight for like a quick rebound. Or if you're like, let's say the puck goes to the corner and like it's not even the corner, like right behind the net, like right in there where a player could quickly try to wrap it or jam it, then it's okay to stay down. But the farther the puck away is from you, the more time and space you have and the more time you have to react to a shot. So any chance you can, try to get to your feet. It's a good habit to develop, especially in practice too. I see goalies a lot of times at the younger levels, they're down on their knees, taking their sweet time. Try to get back to your feet as quickly as possible whenever you can. Like in practice, games, every chance you get.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, for Jared. Can I add to that?
Sure.
Yeah, so I totally agree with that. And the game of goaltending is so much with patience and reading plays and timing. There's a lot of timing that goes into it. And getting up to your feet should be your top priority, because it makes you a bigger goaltender and your movement and skating is a lot easier on your feet and you're faster on your feet. But there are definitely times where, say it's a 2-on-0 and the guy you're in the right depth and you're giving yourself the time to slide over or on your feet. On your feet would be the best way to do it unless you don't have enough time and you have the ability to slide and get there in time. It's all about reading the plays and being patient.
Yep.
Great.
And reading the play gets more important every level you go up to. You have to be able to read and react, knowing the game. It's important for goalies to pay attention to what players are doing. Know your team's defensive structure, know where your team wants the puck to set up for a breakout. Like I know Tomas has wanted the kids to work a lot on playing the puck as goalies this year, and that's important too. You want to know how to mold with your team, but always getting back to your feet is important in goaltending. Like Sid said, you're bigger on your feet, and you can skate a lot better on your feet than you can on your knees. So yeah.
Hey, Cohen. Okay, great. And yeah, Robert said thank you. That's just the answer you needed. So great. So we've got some more stuff here. We still got safe selection, recoveries. Where do you want to head next?
Yeah, safe selections, just, knowing simple safe selections to make. So, a very common one now is the butterfly, a kick save, or as my goalie used to call them, like a flipper. So basically it's when you're shifting into a shot, kind of like that picture before, and you kick your leg out. You're still trying to keep a nice seal on the ice with your pad sealing the ice, but you're just extending your leg to try to get your leg out a little farther. You always want to try anything low. You want to try to get your stick on, but you want to have your pad there for backup. Blocker and glove saves, just being able to use your hands, good hand-eye coordination, being able to control your rebounds with your blocker and glove. Cradles are important, also called gut traps. Anything around the goalie's chest, you want to try to absorb and eat up as a goalie. You don't want to let those bounce out. So if a goalie stays tall and their chest is vertical, most likely a puck is just going to hit their chest and bounce out. So going back to head trajectory, you want to track that puck in and all the way down, keeping your head over it, which kind of creates a pocket in your stomach, and that allows you to cradle the puck and eliminate rebounds and hold on to it. Shoulder saves, basically like mimicking the crossbar by getting your shoulder up and high. If anything's like right above your neck or right above your shoulder in those kind of sticky areas. Stick saves, being good with your stick, getting your stick on the puck, and shifting into shots. Those are just some basic saves that goalies should be working on in their practices. And there's more safe selections as well. Like we talked about the RVH and the VH, but those are just some basic ones that are important.
Okay, great. Okay, and then recoveries.
Yeah, like I talked about earlier, proper recoveries. Your head leads your body. So first, get your eyes on the puck. If you can't see a puck, you can't stop it. The hands, it goes head, hands, or head, shoulders, hands. Sorry, head, shoulders, hands, hips. But going back to the hands, you want to project your hands. Start giving yourself access to make a save. So you have your head on the puck. You have your hands projected towards that puck. So if a shot was to come, you might be able to get a blocker out there or a glove out there trying to make a save. You want to swing your hips, allowing your body to fully square up, and then use your outside leg to push. And these recoveries, when I say outside leg to push in the direction, that's whether you're on your feet or on your knees. But you're always going to use your inside edge to push. You can't use your outside edge to make a push for goaltending. So, and right there, like Sid and I both mentioned, recover to your feet whenever possible. There it is, my on. We can't skate on our knees and aren't as mobile. So get to your knee or get to your feet as much as you can in goaltending. It's huge.
Great. Awesome. And I'm excited to hear about these last couple steps too, the pregame routine and practice habits and mental strength, things that are maybe not thought of as much, but I imagine this, especially at the higher and higher levels, these are really critical pieces too, your habits and your mental side of things.
Yeah. So like right there, I say failing to prepare is preparing you to fail. You want to make sure you're preparing yourself each and every time you get on the ice. Whether it's a game or practice, you want to be prepared to get on the ice to give 100%. and anything less, you're cheating yourself. You're not cheating the coaching staff. Consistency is huge with goaltending. Never giving up on a puck. You want to compete on every single shot, whether it's the second or third or fourth shot. You're never down and out. Okay, like I've seen goalies make incredible saves. I've made them myself, and you're never down and out unless you're never down and out on making a save. You can always try to get a stick out there, or a glove or something. So try to make the save. Do whatever you can, and being 1% better every day. If you've seen the curve, I'm losing the word right now. Took calculus in college, exponential.
Yeah.
You've seen the exponential curve of how being 1% better every day, that curve just shoots up. And if you're like 1% worse every day, it goes negative. So try to just get a little better every day, whether that's, working on your skating or working on tracking, working on your recoveries, working on, your rebound control, something that you can do each and every day to get better. Maybe that's something in the gym. Go for a run, do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, do your junior rain off-ice workout. Just something that you can do every single day to make yourself better. And always try to warm up. Hand-eye drills, dynamic warm-ups before you get on the ice, and usually you stretch after. Dynamic warm-ups are good because they allow you to get your body warm and get loose, and then stretching after, that's when your body's already warm after a good skate or workout, and then you stretch out. So, and then lastly, just talk about mental strength. You want to be mentally alert during games, aware of game scenarios, and recognizing situations, patterns in the game. So, all this stuff builds on top of each other, but having good hockey knowledge and seeing where the puck is going, and seeing how plays develop, and like how a team's power play is being ran, stuff like that, it can help you to really succeed as a goalie. You always got to read and react. So like I think Sid said about like reading the plays, and I agreed. You as a goalie, you want to read and react. It's not just a shot. It's not from one area the entire time. Game's always moving. Game's always changing. You got to read and react to the play. You can do some focusing drills. So visually focusing, like I used to like just imagine it, like close my eyes on the bus and imagine just a puck and try to just visualize a puck in your mind. Then I would also visualize myself making all different types of saves, and that helps me to get focused for a game. Movement senses, like visualizing yourself, like making proper movements. If the puck goes to specific areas of the ice, just visualizing yourself doing that. The last one, or second to last one, as a goalie, you're going to give up goals. No goalie has had a perfect career, never getting scored on. Like you take one of the best goalies ever, Martin Brodeur, who has more wins than some NHL teams. He's gotten scored on probably thousands of times just in games alone, not even considering practices. So you're going to get scored on. Don't worry. It's okay. Analyze what you did wrong, and then think about what you can do better, and then let it go. You don't want to have a seed growing into a plant, growing into a tree in your mind, especially during a game. If you give up a goal, think about it for about 20 seconds. When the puck drops, forget about it and move on and go on to the next play. There's always going to be another shot. And the last thing is just relax and have fun. It's just a game. Enjoy every second of it and play as long as you can. So.
Yeah, you got to enjoy it, right? What's the point if you don't love what you're doing? And you're going to get better the more you love it, and you're going to train harder and everything, right? That's the same. I think that's for all players, but especially with goalies, with the pressure you can see some goalies put on themselves, and just the natural pressure that comes with the position. Sometimes with being kind of the spotlight of it, it's got to be. You can tell the goalies and they're having fun and when they're locked in. That's huge.
Yeah, have fun. Yeah.
Okay, we have a couple. There's a lot of awesome stuff there. We could probably go deeper into a lot of those areas too. We're almost at an hour here. We have a couple questions that came in. I want to make sure we get to. One is from Jason. What's the advice or recommendation for younger goalies that can't close their catch glove all the way? Is it just that they don't have the right glove, or or does that happen?
It depends. They might be using a glove that's too big. I'm assuming that they have a junior size glove or a youth size glove. Their hand just might not be big enough yet to fully close it. You can try putting your hand in and see if you can close the glove all the way. Some gloves have different breaks at different angles, so some gloves close differently than others. But try putting your hand in first and see if you can close it all the way. And then after that, if you can, then it might just be his hand isn't big enough yet to close it fully. So
in that situation, just goalie just continue to just basically block, use it to block and use proper position and things like that, and do their best that they can.
Yeah. So when making a glove save, one thing my goalie coach taught me when I was younger is try to catch the puck between your thumb and your pointer and middle finger, because that's the pocket right here. So if you can basically try to catch a puck right around there, a lot of times it'll go right in the pocket, and gloves can almost close themselves. A lot of the equipment's so well made nowadays. As long as you catch in the pocket, the glove should almost close itself. But you have to actively have your hands engaged. Some younger goalies, when they make saves, sometimes they'll let the puck kind of like push them back, or it'll rotate their glove. You have to make sure you actively have your hand engaged, and because the puck does have velocity and force on it.
Okay, great. And then similar questions is, do you have any tips to work on my new glove? I don't know, what the goalies, if you get a new glove, do you do anything with it to kind of get it?
You could just take like a baseball or tennis ball and, play catch, throw it off a wall, catch it with your new glove. If you have ice available, which we don't right now, you can do just tracking drills. Just have someone shoot to your glove side and just work on making glove saves. Have them put it high and then have them put the puck in like the mid area of the net. And that way you have to drop and make glove saves as well. But that way you break it in and work on catching pucks with your glove. But yeah, just use like a tennis ball or baseball and, go throw it off. I don't know if a baseball will bounce that well off the wall. You might have to play catch with your dad or something, but
lacrosse ball could be good.
Yeah, the lacrosse ball would work really well. It'd probably work better than a baseball, actually. So yeah, lacrosse ball or tennis ball.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, we'll wrap up. I think this presentation is a great presentation that we should probably have all of our goalies watch a number of times, and then that way when they're working with you throughout the week too, they can have a good foundation too of some of the stuff that you're working on and continue to come back to it. So I may ask you, we may send out some of the chart and stuff that you put together too. I already had a request from one of our coaches that if they could get a copy of the chart. So that's a great start. Noble, I'm sure we could bring it on in the future and do some more stuff. But in the meantime, if someone wants to work with you, what are some of the ways they can get in touch with you to work with you privately as well, if they have questions?
So you can reach out to me by email. My email is Tucker, Tucker, Noble, Noble, @yahoo.com. You can also reach out to me on my cell phone. I'll just give it out, 951-719-6652. You can give me a call or text message. I'm pretty available on both. And, just let me know what your availability is. I schedule lessons every Tuesday and Thursday, so you'll see those automatically in the system. But if you want to do a lesson outside of one of those dates, just reach out to me and contact me, and we'll try it. We'll set something up.
Okay, and you're on Instagram as well. I mean, and you post some drills and stuff on there. What's your Instagram?
Yeah, it's called No Bull Goalies. It's NOBULL Goalies. Kind of just played with my name and made something kind of cool. So I post some videos on there and analyze some stuff that we work on in lessons, so that just reaching out so that goalies can see what to do right and wrong, and it's a good teaching tool. So.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks again. Thanks so much for spending all that time with us. And I know it's really valuable for goalies. We'll have the recordings on YouTube and Facebook, and that way so the goalies can kind of rewatch them and things as we go through the season too.
Yep, thank you.
All right.
Stay safe out there, guys.
Okay, thanks a lot. Let's see.